tryna make it. Too many people, they don't let me down, but I keep it real, no time for hating. I'm always on that PC tryna shape my sound. See, I'm just tryna make it. I've got some people, I cannot let it down. Aiming for the top of the mountain. Not there yet, but I've left the ground. Oh, I've left the ground. I'm just tryna make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah. Make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah. Oh, I've left the ground. I'm just tryna make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah. Make it, yeah, make it, yeah, yeah.
They say I'm a big dog. I make all my niggas better, I feel like I'm Chris Paul. I serve all the peers, cocaine, don't need no fentanyl. He faking this persona for the bitches, call him Rick Ross. While I fuck on your bitch right by the door, I told her get lost. I see cash up in my sleep like Trader Visionary. I keep sticks up on my side, got more than the military. Got up in that pussy, leave it creamy, Ben and Jerry's. Take off like a jet, I'm feeling like I'm Jason Terry. These niggas hate it, but these bitches love the way I'm shining though. I might get 100 years if the police find a dope. Dreaming for my baby mama, cause I found a finer hoe. I done put my
Yo, what up, though? Welcome to another episode of the Sleep Podcast. What up, though, my nigga Wale? Got my dog in the building.
What's going on, man? What's going on? What's going on, people?
Man, same thing, different. How you feeling today, man?
Yeah, shit, same.
Yeah, man. Hey, my bad for everybody missing the show on Monday. I have some little personal health issues going on, but hey, niggas is getting back to normal. You know what I'm saying? I'll be straight in a little bit. But shout out to everybody out there in the comments. Matt, I already said he got Pacers game 1. He got them by 21, which is, I think, is absurd, but we're gonna get into it. But Wally, because I know we have to talk about a lot of motherfuckers that got eliminated, because I like I said, I missed Monday. So with New York getting eliminated, there's a lot of shit that happened with them motherfuckers. Let's start off with fucking Tom Thibodeau getting fired this morning. How you feel about that shit?
I mean, honestly, you know how it is, man. People get restless. They's like, oh, what have you did for me lately? And it's like, all right, time to get the freak out of there. But honestly, to be honest, I mean, they got rid of him as a head coach. I don't know they got rid of him overall because what was he just the head coach of the New York Knicks, or was he
He
also like
he wasn't shit else. He wasn't nothing else.
Oh, he was just the head coach?
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, to be honest, it's a win-win in a sense because it's like, one, they still got to pay him the rest of his money, so he can still walk away good on that, knowing he can walk to another team. Two, you also got to think about it. I mean, in the grand scheme of it all, he left you with a blueprint. All you gotta do is just find someone that can take care of it, if they can.
Yeah, he led the Knicks to their best season in the past 25 years. I think it's kind of absurd to fire him. But then again, there are a lot of methods that he has used that's been questionable to a lot of the fans' perspective. Like the only playing 7 niggas throughout the entire playoffs. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, but that's what most people do anyway.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, at certain points, though, in the regular season, you got these same 7 people playing damn near every single game and not making a substitution.
I mean, but that's the thing. It's like, if you only see 7 niggas really put in the work, what else do you do? I'm not gonna. It's the same way I look at it. The same way Kobe said it. It's like if I see you putting in the work, I'm passing the ball to you, and it's gonna be me and you. It's the same thing. If you're the only one really putting in work to really do anything, why would I? Then of course I'm gonna let you play, but everybody else, no. That's just what it is. It's like you're not ready yet. If you get out there and I put you on the court, you do something stupid. Guess what? Guess what they're gonna blame me. So again, it's like, come on now. Like that's how I look at it.
Yeah, you got a point. The coaches are usually the first ones to get blamed generally in any situation when it comes to basketball. I mean, they don't.
Yeah, but that's always the thing. That's always the thing, though. But it's like even like, granted, maybe like there were probably certain calls they could have called timeout or this or that or anything else. But honestly, I would say like this: it's like eventually a coach can only do so much until the point you got to look at the players and what they do, and it's the players. And at the end of the day, the players are on the field.
Yeah, you got a good point. I mean, do you think he possibly could have had a problem with Jalen Brunson, or maybe Jalen Brunson had a problem with him, or maybe it was the team? Because at this point, like I texted my homies in the group chat, I think it was yesterday or maybe even today, I think. Probably early this morning, I just can't remember. But I told him, if y'all notice, Cat has gotten Tibbs fired twice. Tom Thibodeau was the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He got fired there, and then now the Knicks. So, I mean, it is what it is. But, hey, I don't know. I think there's some type of parallel there. Just a little bit.
Probably, but I think, well, I won't say it's a parallel, because if it was a parallel, then why would you, like, again, let's be real. He got traded there. But even then, if there was a parallel, himself would have already known the parallel.
True.
Because again, it's like, why did you got fired? Did you got fired because of the players didn't want you, or did you got fired because of something else? So you got to think about that and that notion. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, you're right. Every single time Tom Thibodeau has ever had Cat around, yeah, he's always fired magically. But I just think, like, again, it's to a point where this is why I'm saying, like, right now, the fact that the Knicks did fire him, one thing I will sit here and say, it pretty much, like, again, I think T Wolves won this. I think T Wolves won this because whoever else coaches the damn Knicks, if they don't force Cat to play the way he should be playing, he's gonna go back and do the same old shit again, and that team's gonna be garbage.
That is true. I mean, Cat does have a habit of doing the same thing, you know what I'm saying, and expecting a different result sometimes. So I definitely will give you that.
So,
I mean, yeah, but the New York Knicks, they definitely got took out of here by the Indiana Pacers. Series 4-2, last game 125-108. They got put out. We already talked about this OKC in Minnesota series, so we ain't gonna stretch that out no farther. But right now, we're about to talk about these Indiana Pacers versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Wally, who do you have, my guy?
So I thought of this like a long kind of ways because honestly, it's really like here or there. But my thing is, one thing I've realized is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna just put my overall pick out there. I think in a grand scheme of maybe up to 6 games, I think Pacers might edge them out. I think, and I only say this for one reason.
Ooh-wee.
Between these two teams, when you look at their starting five, I think Indiana Pacers got a more consistent starting five.
I don't know if we can say they're more consistent because, I mean, OKC did 60-some games, dog.
They win 60-some games. I mean, that's true. But, again, well, you look at the West. Was the West really what it was at that time before the trades and all these things? I mean, pick and choose on that. But, honestly, personally, for me, there's a reason why I say – because you got to think about it. So far in this series – it's like Pacers been knocking it down pretty much every other time. And like I said, you don't really need Tyler Burton. I mean, granted, do you need Tyler Burton to probably score it here and there? Possibly so. But at the same time, it's like, as long as you got these guys scoring every other time around, I just think that personally, it's less strain on them as a team. Whereas, think of it like this. If freaking SGA, if he's not scoring, I'm sorry, bro. If he ain't scoring, that team's gonna flop.
Shit, Jalen Williams.
Yeah, and Jalen Williams so far, like, okay, yeah, Jalen Williams, and then what? And check, okay, cool. Again, they still gonna flop.
I don't know about that, dog.
Hey, look. I put it like this. You look at every single time that this team has actually lost, you see the certain things that I'm talking about. It's neither the starting five did not have 10 plus, or B is neither freaking SGA couldn't score 20 plus or 30. Bruh, that's how I look at it. I'm saying that there is much more of a strain for OKC than it is in the sense of Pacers in my opinion. So as far as the starting five goes, I give that to the Pacers. Then I would give OKC. Not saying that OKC can't have a good starting five, but their starting five is not as much like that, give or take, depending on certain things. And I would think, depending on certain players there, on their starting five versus the Pacers, I think Pacers probably do a little bit more better. At least among certain other people.
See, depending on who you're talking about, yeah, and depending on who you expect them to step up. But from what I've seen, just off the regular season series between these two, OKC's beat Indiana on both occasions, and the Thunder won the first one March 29th. Well, the last game, March 29th, 132-111. And the first game they played this year, December 26th, 120-114. So it's like after Christmas, they kept getting better. And then when they played them again, both teams did get better since December 26th. You would agree that, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, the first starts are always the first starts. So, yeah, after Christmas, you could say that, yeah.
So yeah,
Which
with them,
usually teams have already changed that. Already. So yeah.
so yeah, with that being said, March 29th, when they're both supposed to be better teams, OKC held them to less points, and then they scored 12 more.
Yeah, but see,
They
that's the
beat
regular
them by
game,
almost
though.
fucking
No,
20.
notice one thing, though. I don't mention those because those are just regular season games, though. I'm not gonna hold that. But regular
I
season
mean, well,
games,
I get you.
that's the here and there.
I get you, but in these type of matchups, just because it's the finals and shit, you kind of got to look at the regular season matchups just as like a reference point because they only play each other twice a year. You know what I'm saying? At least if they do make the finals against each other, it'll be more too. But generally speaking, every other team on the East and West Coast, they only play each other twice a year. So I mean, for as far as like analytics, this is all we really got to look at. I mean, have to
All
look
right,
at.
so wait a minute. So before Christmas, who won the first game?
OKC won both games.
OKC won both, or did Pacers won one?
OKC won both.
If I'm not mistaken, they did. Okay, hold on. Let me see something because I
Nah.
swear I heard it.
Indiana lost by 6 on December 26th, and they lost 132 to 111 March 29th.
Said March 29th.
132 to 111.
Hold on, let me see if I can find that.
Yep, that was
So
that.
okay. So the first one. So you said March. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. You said March.
Yeah, March 29th. Look,
Because December they lost by 6 points. Let's see. March. Let me go back down.
look right here, Roger. Right here.
Wait, hold on.
Oklahoma City Thunder beat the Pacers on both occasions.
And then the second one was 11 point. Wait, was that 11 or 21 points?
So yeah, that's crazy. It says right here, March 29th, the second, in the second half alone, they scored 71 on Indiana. That's ridiculous. And in the first game that they won, Shea had 45.
Hold on, let me see. Yeah, Shea had 45 in the first game. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like you said, that was the first game after Christmas because that's December 26th. But I'm more so focused on this March 29th game. They 71 points in the half is ridiculous.
Yeah, but you gotta put that in context because I gotta see like what happened that game. Like who was there?
I mean, by that point in the season, you got everybody.
Not quite. That's why I'm like, because you gotta think again. Because again, if they starting 5 is different, then I would expect they would have had a more easier time dealing with their asses, or depending on what that game looked like. Because if I'm looking at this, all right, that center is different. Yeah, but that's my point. Like I'm looking at this right now. There are definitely people that weren't there at that time, and everything else. Plus,
who wasn't there that second game?
Huh?
Who wasn't there that second game when they lost 132 to 111?
Hold on, cause I'm about to compare right now. Hold on, because I need to see who's usually there on the court to make sure.
Let me see.
Because I don't want to be quote unquote wrong. Okay, so usually everyone in the starting 5 is there. Was their bench play there? Then I guess the bench.
Look, I'm on ESPN looking at it right now. It's 132, 111. Halliburton played.
I know Halliburton played, but I'm just trying to see if everyone else did, give or take. All right, well, it don't even matter. I mean, they played under. That's the main thing. But yeah, either which way, hey, look, it is. What the fuck?
Fucking ad on the ESPN shit. You know how that dumbass shit is.
Oh, okay. But look, either which way. I mean, granted, yeah. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Like you said, generally speaking, we can't really base the finals off like regular season games, but in terms of information, this is kind of like all the general information we have in terms of like how we can compare the two teams. So I'm just going at it from that angle, and not just that angle, but if we also want to just look at who I think has the better team. I mean, you got SGA who matches up with Halliburton at point guard, which you can almost say in a way exit each other out because of the assists. I mean, I know Halliburton's game is really based off of assists, and people rub off the fact he has 0 turnovers a lot of times when he really is balling. But at the same time, I'm turning around and looking at it like SGA, not only is he getting those assists, he's also getting the points. He also can get the rebounds. And then when you add Jalen Williams possibly coming in the game, and he's an easy 20 a game if he wants to be. Chet, he's an easy 15 and 10 when he wants to be. Hartenstein, he's an easy 10 and 10. I don't really know. And then you got Caruso coming off the bench who probably can lock up.
I wouldn't say he's an easy 10 to 10.
I mean, against this type of team, damn near, bro.
He better hook. He better hook.
I mean, because all he has to do is just stand under the rim, get rebounds, and put them back up. I mean, now I ain't saying Miles no bitch. Now let me start that with that. Miles Turner is not really the person in the post to play with because he still can shots and definitely box out and get rebounds very, very well. But
but my main thing is because even throughout this whole series so far, like even throughout the whole time frame, like he hasn't been getting like 10 for 10 like that throughout the whole thing. So that's one thing. Like Alex Caruso is nice as a coming off the bench player, especially if he turns up. But then again, it's like that's only the one bench player that really does something like that. Give or take.
I can't say that. Aaron Wiggins was sparking from 3 earlier this year. He was hitting. Isaiah Joe coming
up. But does he does it on a consistent basis though?
I mean, when they need him to, yeah. But at a point when they put him in the game, they're damn already up 15.
But that's my whole point. But notice one thing you said, when they need him to, not that he just does it. That's my whole point. Like that's what I'm saying. Like even from a bench perspective, I would somewhat get that more so. Okay, like let's say this, right? Let's say hypothetically, all right, let's switch it. I'll give Thunder the starting 5. All right, cool. Give Thunder starting 5. From a bench perspective, I always see 3 niggas coming off the bench being something perspective of freaking Pacers every single time. So it's like Alex Caruso, you said Aaron Wiggins, and then who else?
Give me 1 second because I know in some names right now. Hold on. You forgot the other Jalen Williams. He's up there as the big man. He's a baller. Like I said, you said off the bench. You said Caruso, Aaron Wiggins. I said him already. Cason Wallace, he's definitely a good defender. Isaiah Joe, I already mentioned him. That's really it. And then I did already mention Jalen Williams, the center coming off the bench.
I already mentioned 3, but yeah.
Because their starters is SGA, Jalen Williams, Chet, Hartenstein, and Dort. You got off the bench, it would be Caruso, Wiggins, Cason Wallace, Isaiah Joe, and the other Jalen Williams.
Right, and most of them, and depending on some of those guys, sometimes they spring up and the other one springs down. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
fair.
That's what I'm saying. Like, usually with the Pacers, like who are the consistent 3 that are coming off the bench really doing something. This one is like, well, one day it's gonna be this guy, the other day it's gonna be this guy, the other day it's gonna be this guy. It all really depends. It's like, okay.
Well, yeah, you got a point. So, well, since you want to mention that, let me look up the bench production because that matters too. So for the Pacers, they bench production this year basically has been Ben Shepherd, TJ McConnell, Benedict Mathurin, obviously. But their bench averages 39.8 points off the bench this year. So basically around 40. So you're going to get an additional 40 from your bench from Indiana. And then from OKC, let me see. Because I definitely don't want to leave that out. See, and up here for OKC, they only have like the exact number that they've scored this year. But they said they got the highest this year off the bench, scoring 2,880 points off the bench as a collective.
How much they scored?
2,880 points as a collective.
From the overall season or just on an average?
This is just for the overall season. I don't know why it doesn't say for average like it did for.
Okay, because I'm about to say like, well, shoot, take that number divided by 82 games because what is the average?
Pretty much. I was honestly just thinking that shit too, but
I mean, like I said, really, this game, like I said, it's really a teeter totter. It don't really matter who really wins because
No, it's 35. It's 35. So
it's
really,
35. So
yeah, you're right. Indiana does beat them off the bench, 35-40.
All right, so 5 points difference.
Yeah, but I mean, I think those 5 point difference it comes for OKC because by the point you look up, SGA done fouled out half your fucking team, really. So the bench, they really useless, like I said, because by the time they come in the game, they already up 15.
Hey, it's gonna be what it is.
Yeah, it definitely is gonna be what it is. I definitely think it's gonna be a great series. Definitely do. Matt definitely said it once again. I want to repeat that. He said Pacers game 1. He said they're gonna win by 21. You think they're gonna blow them the fuck out game 1 in OKC? I don't think that's gonna happen, my guy. Not in OKC. Now, do I think it's gonna be a good game 1? Definitely, but I don't think it's gonna be no 21-point blowout in game 1. I mean, something really drastic has to happen for that to happen, for in my opinion.
Hey, you never know.
I mean, shit, do you think Indiana could possibly come out and beat them 21 in OKC game 1?
I mean, I don't know about 21, but I wouldn't be surprised if they would have took the upset.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. So, I mean, I just got to get you a little take real quick on this little playoff shit. I know there's been a lot of random shit that's been going on as well. But, yo, so I seen some shit online. I know we're going to get to it because that is a part of the title. Is Halliburton better than Steve Nash? I seen Players' Choice. They was covering that. We're going to get to that in a minute, though, Wiley. But inside the NBA, they hosted their last official show. Ernie Johnson, Kenny, Chuck, and Shaq. Where do you think the NBA goes from here in terms of like halftime shows?
Shoot, I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I personally think they might just fuck around and keep them, and wherever the hell they're going, they should just move them all over to the same network. I mean, but there's a lot of different people that's going to be going. I mean, Kevin Harlan, all them other guys that we, you know what I'm saying, grew up to know and love and see it during halftime shows. They're not going to be there no more. It's definitely sad to see. I was going to pull up that clip, but fuck it. This is way more crazy in my opinion. So we're going to get to the matter of fact, I'll just show that shit when we get close to the end of the show. But for right now, we need to adjust this. Is Halliburton better than Steve Nash situation? Real clip, Wally.
All right.
Steve Nash did.
I feel like Steve Nash was a lot of hype, but Steve Nash was
hype?
great. Yes, hype. Now, but we don't.
How is he hype, but Hallie's not hype?
What do you mean?
Look, so
exactly what he just said.
Yeah,
do you think Hallie's better than Steve Nash?
I do. Personally, I do.
Shit.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing.
God.
Here's the thing. First off, I'm higher on Halliburton's defense than Steve Nash's. Second off, Halliburton's a better scorer than Steve Nash too.
What are you talking about? Steve Nash was the best playoff scorer on the team going away. He was an elite playoff scorer in damn near every single one of those runs with the Phoenix Suns. In the elite and a consistently elite. Consistently elite. So I think, but Ron, this is what I'm saying. You obviously you're allowed to have your bag because you are a Giannis, Hallie person and you're a fan of those players. So therefore, we don't treat you like Real Talk treats me about being a Denver fan. Okay, we're not held to the same standard because we're not expected to have the same level of greatness.
What I got to do with anything?
Ron, what I'm saying is
like take the yap out. Let's talk.
Yeah, I'm not taking the yap. I'm just giving the context.
Let's get rid of the yap. Let's cut all the fat.
I'm giving the context behind why nobody tomatoed you when you said that, because people don't expect you to stand on business. But I've been standing on business. I just told you I've been standing on business for the last 3 years. What you cannot do is say you think Tyrese Halliburton is a superstar, and then when I
never said Steve Nash wasn't a superstar.
No, I'm not done.
Say that.
I'm not done.
See now you're just
Ron. When you're wrong, you talk over people. I'm not talking over you. Ron, you said that you believe Tyrese Halliburton is a superstar.
Yes, I'm trying to find the inconsistency. Where's the inconsistency?
He's trying to give it to you, as you were saying, Swiper.
And then when I say, what are your thoughts? Why are you not higher on Steve Nash? And
how high am I supposed to be on Steve Nash? No, you asked your question. I believe it was a lot of. I never said that Steve Nash wasn't great. I never said Steve Nash wasn't the better offensive point guards at that time.
What were his exact words, Jill, about when I brought up Steve Nash and his playmaking and passing? What did he say?
It's a lot of hype.
I said it's a lot of hype. But how high am I on Steve Nash? Do you know how high I am on Steve Nash? Do you know? Like you don't even know that.
You're clearly not very high on Steve Nash.
Well, hold on, no. The reason why I say this about Steve Nash is because he won. See, you guys jump to a conclusion that you don't even know where I am at where I'm at with Steve Nash. The reason why I'm not as high as Steve Nash, because a lot of people put Steve Nash in Kobe conversations. He's not in Kobe conversations. So ask me how I feel about Halliburton relative to Kobe, and Halliburton to get put in his place as well.
Why are you not higher on Steve Nash then?
I don't know where the fuck the Kobe comparison came in at, because that was very random. I gotta watch the whole pod for that. But shout out to Player's Choice for that little clip. Wally, Steve Nash, Halliburton. I know they got pretty similar styles in terms of, you know what I'm saying, trying to distribute the ball and, you know what I'm saying, get the whole offense involved. But is Halliburton better than Steve Nash?
Well, so honestly, it really depends on what you're looking at, honestly. But for, I say it like this: for a scorer, you can give it a Nash. But for a point guard, I would probably say you give it a Tyrese.
See, I'm kind of 50-50 on this. I do actually, now that I recall, I did see a couple more clips on YouTube Shorts about these guys when they were talking about this. They did kind of refer back to the teams that Steve Nash and the teams that Halliburton have had, and kind of saying that Steve Nash had Amari and Halliburton doesn't have an Amari Stoudemire equivalent, pretty much. And he was basically trying to say, without saying, that Nash would have, not Nash, Halliburton would have won an MVP if he had a Amari Stoudemire caliber player. And that I am 100% not going for. And even in this context, Halliburton, if you want to talk about height and everything, yeah, he's a taller point guard. They do close to the same thing. Steve just shot 50, 40, 90. That's like untouchable numbers, dog. I get people are like really, really high on Halliburton because of his 0 turnover games, if I'm gonna be honest with you. But just because you have 0 turnovers in that game does not mean that your passing is what led to the W. Granted, it just so happens with him that when he does have like those 0 turnover games, he does have like 15 assists, 16 assists. So his assist to turnover ratio is pretty high, if I'm gonna be honest. But I just don't. I can't. I don't know. I can't take Halliburton over Steve Nash just yet, bro.
Well, I'm gonna say it like this, right? If we talking about for the overall career, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm sorry, but I have to agree with the brother on the clip. Now you can sit here and say, looking at all these games and looking at certain highlight moments of Steve Nash, and be like, well, Steve Nash was great here. What highlights do Tyrese Halliburton has that overclips his career? But you know what's funny though? Let's look at the stats. If you told me for the career of Steve Nash, 1,217, Steve Nash is 14.3, 3.0 rebounds, 8.5 assists. So you can say 9 assists, right? Tyrese Halliburton, that has literally almost 1/4 of a career than Steve Nash at 333, has 17.5, 18 points, 3.7, 4 rebounds, 8.8, 9 assists. And this guy has way more of a career than he does. He's a Hall of Famer, all that. And Tyrese is like, he's a little bit under. So with a less accolades, everything else, Tyrese still has way more better stats than he does, or around the same equilibrium as he does. And then some. So honestly, from a stats perspective, yeah, better than Steve Nash. Now, if you want to talk about just looking at it for per game, like I said, I would believe if you're just saying Steve Nash as just a scorer, yeah, he's better as a scorer. But point guard, I think maybe Tyrese is just more better.
And then that's where I don't know, because then if you take out Amari Stoudemire, because we got to remember Steve Nash does have 2 MVPs. Granted, a lot of people do.
Right, but guess what? Shaq fought for those 2 MVPs and said he didn't deserve them. He did.
Now, okay, I will agree. Shaq, he does have an argument to have one of Nash's MVPs, but I'm sorry, it's hard to convince me that Steve Nash didn't at least deserve one of them MVPs. I can't remember one of the year, what specific year it is, But one of those years, Amari Stoudemire played 3 games, and that's supposed to be his quote-unquote number 2 option. And they were supposed to drop off and fall off a cliff and fall to at least 40, 30-something games after just coming off like
his MVP year. I'm pretty sure this is the when he actually had it versus, this should be his number 1. So 04, 05, 05, 06.
It's got to be 05, 06, I think. I think Amari had his injury that year. That year, I think they still won like 64 games.
Let's see here.
And a tough-ass Western Conference, too.
Well, yeah. I know he played all those games, but I don't know how much they won or lost, give or take.
Who, the Suns in 05?
Yeah, 05, 06. Yeah, 04, 06, 05, 06, yeah.
Let me see. 05, 06 record, they won. That was not that year. It was
but I'll even go from this stand. If you told me today, okay, take the best year from Steve Nash overall, right? His best year was literally what, 06, 07 with 18. Well, sorry, no, wait. Which one would be considered better? Hold on, let me see.
It was 05, 06.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, that's what they would say. They probably would have said that. I would probably lean more to 06, 07 because, I mean, pretty much they're the same, but the assist is a little bit more higher on this one. But either which way, it don't really matter to me. I mean, pick what you want. But either one of those, you were to pick those two, right? 05, 06, 18.8, which is 19 points. Rebound is 4.2, so that's 4. Assist is 10.5, that's 11. Steals is 0.8, so that's 1. Blocks is 0.2. Turnovers was 3.4, so that's 4. Right? You take it right there, right? If that's the main one you want to focus on. If I'm looking at Tyrese best year was 2023, 2024, 20.1. 3.9 rebounds, that's a 4. So assists 11, 10.9, that's 11. Steals is 1.2. Blocks is 0.7. Turnovers is 2.3. I mean, you tell me what you're choosing off of that.
I mean, I get what you're saying for sure, but I mean, just off of stats. I mean, just off of not just look of the game, but just how it was played. I'm taking Steve Nash, dog. That's just with me.
What's going on, Hurricane? I mean, I'm sorry, bro. Steve Nash never was like that dude for me. Like, granted, yeah, he was a good player, but I never was fantasized about Steve Nash like that. Like, he was just a dude out there. That's how I look at it for me.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I'm just looking at from where the Suns were before they got Steve Nash, and they put Steve Nash on that roster. And they immediately jumped to winning 60-something games, bro.
And I get that, but that's the power of a point guard, and that's true, and that's good.
I mean, they had Stephon Marbury, and then right after, I mean, granted, at that point, Marbury was kind of like crashing out, but they had Marbury, and then after Marbury fucking out for Steve Nash, you know what I mean? The shit looked completely different out there in Phoenix.
Well,
but I don't know if Halliburton will have that same effect.
I mean, technically he has. I mean, right now, if you told me today, okay, Tyrese Halliburton was where before he got traded to the Pacers?
Sacramento.
He was in Sacramento, right? Okay, so he was in Sacramento Kings. You left off of that team from being from the bench to being a starter, and now here you are better known than PG-13? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think he did that already.
I don't know.
You say you don't know, but let's be real. When you look at Pacers from the overall career of them time being there,
that's his
since
impact.
The last time they actually had a star, I mean, who do you tell me is the face of that team right now? Him. So you're telling me another guy that was good coming off the bench, now starting. And he's the face of that team. Okay, what are we talking about here?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I think after a while, Indiana just like pieces around him, like to make him the centerpiece of the team, if that makes sense too. Because I mean, granted, they already still had Miles Turner, TJ McConnell was already there, but the other niggas, the Benedict Mathurin, the I forgot his fucking name right now.
But think about it. So look, the guys that were already there before he got there. So you can't tell me none of the guys that was already there couldn't even be the face or the main dude. When he got there, he became the main dude. That's my whole point. So that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
think about it. Okay, look what you just said earlier. You just said when Steve Nash got onto the scene with the Suns, he changed everything. But my point exactly, the same way when Tyler Halliburton got over there, he changed everything. Because if not, then what was different about them beforehand? Because I can sit here and say, okay, when Victor Oladipo got there, he changed everything too. Until he got injured.
Vic was injury prone by the time he got there.
But that's my whole point though. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a difference. That's what I'm saying. Like when Victor got there, Victor brought some sauce. He wasn't no big time major star overall, but he brought some sauce to the team. But when he got injured, then it's like, and then traded, then what was the next livelihood of that team? Tyrese Halliburton. And that's my whole point. So let's not sit here and act like Tyrese didn't uplift the team up to being something more. He did.
Nah, I'll give you that. He definitely made them more than people thought they would have been. I just don't think the hype to put him that far up on the list is like a Steve Nash. That shit is ridiculous. That's taking it too far.
I mean, again, but that's my whole point, right? If we're proceeding on what Steve Nash is and then saying comparison to Tyrese, again, then who fault is putting that in together? Whose fault in putting that together? Who made that statement? Because if I look at Tyrese, how tall Tyrese is 6'5", and then Steve Nash is 6'3". Okay, so I mean, bro, like what are we talking about here? Like, my thing is this comparison that people wanted to bring up. Like, granted, if you want to see here and say, well, it wasn't a comparison that people just throw out at random. It's like, well, where do you see Tyrese as overall point guard? All right, overall point guard. But my thing is, if overall point guard, again, are they lying on what they say? No. Again, he plays 1/4 of his whole career so far what Steve Nash has played. And he's doing better in stats than he is. The stats don't lie. The stats don't fucking lie. I'm sorry. Now, again, there is a style and a je ne sais quoi as far as see him on the court that you like more than Steve Nash. I get it. But again, that's styles. Now, you want to sit here and say, okay, you like Steve Nash style more better. Great. Cool. But the thing is, that doesn't change the fact that who is the better point guard on the field, though. And granted, yeah, we haven't seen Tyrese played up to Steve Nash yet to truly compare, but 1/4 of a career and he's already out beating you in stats. Come on now, stop.
I mean, shit. Well, I mean, if you adjust Steve Nash's stats to today's ratio, like rate of play and everything, like they try to do everybody else, because I mean, they try to, like, example, you know how they say Mike already averaged 30 a game, right? And if you jump to the way today's game is played, that's why people try to say Jordan will average like 45 or he'll damn near average 50 a game. You kind of got to do the shit with everybody's stats. So if Nash averaged what'd you say, 14? By today's standards, with him being such a high volume, I mean, a high percentage 3-point shooter, with him being 50, 40, 90, I'm pretty sure a lot of them twos he shot back then would have turned into threes. And that 14 would have turned into about 21, 22.
Okay, so let's see. Field goal ratio was 49%, exactly on the dot. 3 is 42.8, so 43. And then his field goals were 40.4. I mean, sorry, 90.4. All right, Ty.
I'm going off the years he won. Yeah. Wait, no, is that? Yeah, that's his career stats. You reading off, right?
Yeah, I'm reading off that. That's the full career. I'm reading off the full career. For Tyrese, 47.7, so that's 48. So he's slightly under by 1. 3 is 39.2, so 39, and then field goal is 85.8, so that's 86. So yeah, he has him on that part as far as fouls, but I'm not surprised because again, you're a point guard, so you're more likely tricking people into fucking you over.
And no, not fouls. I'm talking about threes. A lot of
twos. No, I know what you're saying, but I'm looking at it from the overall perspective. But my thing is, even then, it's like I get what people are saying, like, oh, if they were playing in this time frame and they had the coaching and the training and everything else, whoop-de-woo and all that. But guess what? That's still a partial wish, woulda, coulda, shoulda type notion. I'm not really affected to that because it's like, again, those are different eras. Steve Nash playing an era where twos are more prevalent because it's more smarter versus going for the explosive three because you're somewhat trying to be a little bit more lazy and sort of explosive, and you don't want to do the wither of playing in pocket. So again, those are two different things. But that's my whole point. My thing is Tyrese don't have a problem playing in pocket because he's not scared of playing in pocket and probably getting hurt. So again, I'm not even ignoring that part. So again, for the fact that his field goal percentage is way more higher than his 3 points, and then you got Steve that can shift either way in between. Again, this is what I'm saying. Even when you're 1 point behind him in field goals and a few more points in 3-point percentage ahead of him, he still outbeats you though. Make it make sense. You can't, like, bro, call it for what it is.
No, I get you. I definitely understand what you're saying, Wally. I mean, like I said, I just personally think that Nash got him just with the 50, 40, 90, just the percentage wise, and then the volume of twos he was taking back then, and knowing that those twos would have been threes now. Like you said, even though it's a woulda, coulda, shoulda situation, that's why I kind of hate comparing eras, because every time you look at that shit, you got to either, if you're taking somebody from now and dragging them back then, you got to kind of deflate their numbers a little bit, even though they try to say, oh, yeah, these guys have the advancement of this game and everything nowadays. But now if you put them back then, no, the fuck wouldn't have them advancements. So you got to kind of take their game down a little bit. But then the guys from back, you got to kind of give them the training.
I just read you a percentage, right? I read you field goals, 3-point percentage, and I read you field goal percentage. Steve Nash still has a higher percentage than Tyrese, but yet Tyrese still has, even with lower by 1 point, by a few points on 3, and by a few points on field goals, he still has a better record than him does for 1/4 of his career. So that's my point. Like, it don't matter if you made an adjustment. You don't need to make no adjustment. He's under you, and yet he still makes better efforts of a better stat. So again, why is that? That's my whole point. Like, again, this is all about style of play. I think that's really what it is, and people want to knock it for what it is. But again, if people know this, if there's an argument to be made where you can sit here and say, well, Steve Nash maybe not deserve one or if not both MVPs, then it's like pick and choose. It's like whatever. And then two, is like, granted, yeah, you an MVP, but let's be honest. If the Pacers win, you're trying to tell me Tyrese ain't gonna win an MVP right now? Yeah. Come on now. You gotta think about that. See, no one don't talk about that. If he were to win this year right now, you think he ain't gonna win an MVP? Because I guarantee you, if you told me today, okay, he don't got the same accolades as Steve Nash, excluding the Hall of Fame and NBA 75th anniversary teams, right? As far as being all-stars and assist champion, I give you that. I give you that incredibly. But my thing is, if he mostly catches you up by getting a MVP, he starts being in all-star games a little bit more often, probably more assist champs, then guess what? What are you going to tell me then? You're going to tell me nothing. You can tell me nothing. That's why I say this. Honestly, go ahead.
No, I'll just say that's if all that shit happens, then we can have that conversation.
Look, you're right. If that happens, and I don't got no problem. Like, you know what? Hold up, because I'm about to soften it up even better, right? Like, let's look at this graph real quick, because this comparison graph breaks it down as far as like their whole like regular season, what they did overall, right? And I think this would be a better thing. That's why I said, like, again, if you told me as far as just points, yeah, I think Steve Nash is a better scorer. If you told me anything else, yeah, I'd give it to Steve Nash overall, because this will definitely tell you what it really is, counting like out on bigger scale, right? Like points per game, yeah, Tyrese is better than Steve Nash is. Rebounds, Tyrese is still slightly better. Assists, slightly better by just 0.3, but overall they both same 9 points. 9 rebounds. 9 assists. Steals pretty much almost the same. Tyrese got it by 1 when you round it up. Blocks, Tyrese is better, right? But now you look at total points throughout their whole career. Steve Nash still made more, right? And that's because he's been in the league longer. But like I said before, if you just look at Tyrese's career is like almost 1/4 of his whole career. So if I were to say 1/4 of this, depending on whatever that number is, bro, it's like that's literally almost maybe it. Oh, let me check right now because that may or may not be the same. Right, divided by 5%. How much that is? Hold on, no, let me change that. That is what? Right. So you know what? So 25%, which is 1/4 of Steve Nash's career, he would only be banking in 4,346. So again, Tyrese is there by a smidgen. He's there by a smidgen.
Yeah,
so
I mean, you gotta.
So again, it's like this is all like procedure. But again, like I said, he got the work on him. That's the truth. But even then, like I said, going back to like field goals, 3 points, free throws, yeah. But like I said, I think this is more about a style of play argument more than anything else, right? Even in playoffs, like granted, Tyrese hasn't won yet, right? That's the one thing Steve Nash has over him. But then again, it's like look at it like here. Look at this. Even in the playoffs, look who's better. Look who shows up.
I mean, yeah, the playoffs that's a different conversation, of course. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Steve
now
Nash,
you compare their best playoffs. Now, of course, Steve Nash's best playoff is better than Tyrese is, though. And in some cases, like points.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So and see, and like even in the assist, like right, as far as that particular year, this was better. So yeah, like don't get me wrong, like that's what I'm saying. Like overall, like you just talking about who's the better player, is him. But if you told me like, oh, well, who has the better like overall. Like who do you think is better or whatever? It's like it's all style of play for me. So my thing is listening to the clip and then like now putting in perspective of stats and looking at who's got what. It's like, look, you pick who you pick for yourself, but I mean you can't ignore what's out there.
No, you definitely can't. You definitely right about that, man. Definitely right about that. I mean, you know what? I was going. No, what was my bad.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, but if you notice in that clip, they were fantasizing about what he did on the court, and I'm like, granted, if you want to put that as the main thing, cool. But I think what the brother was doing, even though he was, ultimately interfering every other time in the conversation, I mean, let's be real. Those guys, the older brothers, they were fantasizing on what they saw. He's telling you what it is. And that's what it is. Like, again, because I say it like this, right? Because I know someone made an argument. I don't want to bring this up, but I'm just going to say just real quick. Y'all can feel what y'all want to feel. I don't care. Right? But I know one brother said, you know what? Y'all motherfuckers will hate me for saying it, but hey, look, I can respect the entirety of LeBron's whole career more than I can respect MJ's. You want to know why? Because I was able to freaking see it. MJ, for the first couple of years of his time frame, it was not able to be seen on TV. But once he started winning, when all y'all were able to see, y'all only saw the wins. Y'all only saw when he conquered. Y'all only saw that shit, but you didn't saw the beginning. And I'm like, and that's my whole point. Like, y'all sort of just fantasizing a visual, but y'all ain't really paying attention to what's actually there. It's like, okay, great. And that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as for a style of play, like, yeah, hey, look, I won't be surprised if people pick Steve Nash. But at the same time, I'm looking at it for the facts. I'm like, bro, Tyrese has moved on from him.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand your perspective. I just think Nash still is a little bit better than Halliburton. Just me personally. I mean, I think he is. But granted, I'm not saying that Halliburton can't pass Steve Nash. Because, like I said already, there are similarities in their game in terms of, like, how they distribute the ball, where they get some of their buckets at. You know what I'm saying? Nash, he got a lot of free throws. Halliburton, he gets a lot of layups. Like, Nash got a lot of layups. Nash, the difference between him and Halliburton, like I was alluding to earlier, Halliburton will shoot more threes, while Steve Nash, he'll come off that pick and roll and hit your ass with a pull-up two. And, I mean, it'll have the same effect just about, but nowadays, because today they're shooting more threes than twos, it could be a different, like, they almost can have the exact same stats, really.
Yeah, but that's my thing is like, but that's my thing, right? The notion of the game and how the game is so different to the point that it's very wishy-washy to even know like what you're really looking at. That's why I'm like, for me personally, I will never ultimately tailor the game because again, you're talking apples to oranges. This was one guy that was playing in pocket where it was probably the most dangerous back in the damn days because pocket was where it was at back in the days. Whereas a guy that's trying to be a little bit more free range and go from the three more than days because now the game is tailored this way because someone wanted to get fancy about it and now everyone got to do it.
I ain't even gonna lie. Who's the someone you're alluding to?
Oh, come on. We all know what the fuck we talking about here.
Steph.
Exactly.
I mean, I can blame Steph for making the three-pointer so relevant in today's game because everybody's trying. It's a copycat league. Everybody tries to copy what the next team does.
That's my point, bro. It changed the foundation, bro. It changed the foundation.
But I will say this. We can blame him for the three-point revolution, yes. But you know who we can blame for a lot of these badass step-back threes that are terrible shots? James Harden.
Hey. Hey.
I love that. Granted, what James Harden was doing in Houston was remarkable, and it will never be replicated and it'll never be duplicated because James Harden was that nigga in Houston. But at the same time, people took what Harden was doing and tried to do the exact same shit, which is why we have a bunch of horrible-ass three-point shots being taken today. Stephen Curry is the reason why we take so many of them, yes. Harden is the reason why we see so many people take so many bad ones. Just because of the way they're doing it. Every three don't got to be a sidestep or a step back. You could just do a catch and shoot, and it'll be perfectly fine.
True. But see, that goes to tell you everything you need to know, see? That's why it'd be funny like that.
Definitely is. But Wally, I know I ain't going to hold everybody up here too long. I said I was going to show the inside the NBA clip, but some reason it's fucking not popping up. It's
which one? You talking about? Are you talking about the one on IP?
Yeah, the one with EJ. You were saying peace out to everybody, which, like I said, we're about to do. But appreciate everybody for, you know what I'm saying?
I got you.
No, I got you, Wally. I'm just about to do the outro while you're looking this shit up. But while Wally do this, about to get my outro. C Money Podcast. You normally catch us Sundays. I said Sundays. My bad. That's the old time. Mondays at 7:00 now. JVJ said it'd be better to do around that time, so I'll start doing 7. Try to push around that time. And music channel in the link description below. Just click it down there. You'll see it somewhere down there. Shout out my boy Matt. Shout out my boy Hurricane. Hop down there in the comments. JVJ, wherever the fuck you at. I know you probably watching somewhere in the YouTube world. Appreciate you as always. Wally, let everybody know where they can find you at.
Shoot. They can find me here whenever I'm requested to come up.
Shit, well, Wally, appreciate you as always. Well, I do got my nephew. That nigga, he be posting some music, so I don't know where he be doing the shit. I'll figure out one of these days. Let y'all niggas know where y'all can find that nigga at. Check that nigga out. He got some fire shit too. But before we get up out of here, like I said, I'm gonna show this clip of Ernie Johnson. Then right after that shit, shortly following, we about to get the fuck up out of here. So peace in advance. Because when this nigga get done talking, I'm clicking the outro. Deuce.
Several years ago, I wrote a book called Unscripted, and I asked people to embrace the unscripted, not fear the unscripted. If I had written the script, the NBA and TNT would be together forever. It's not going to happen. But while I was disappointed and I was sad, I was not bitter. We know how business works. Gratitude is the operative word for me. Grateful that, since 1989, I've been with this company. No matter what you call the company, I'll always be Turner. And I'm grateful that I've worked with you guys. I'm grateful for all of the relationships we've built professionally and personally through the years. You just don't realize that until you see people here on the road and say, hey, this is probably going to be it. And you think back to all the good times you had. So I'm grateful for that, and also grateful that we have members of our crew who are going to go work at NBC or work at Amazon. And you know how they got those jobs? Because their resume says NBA on TNT. So thank you. We have been honored to do this. And we look forward. Look, the four of us, as you've already heard, the four of us are going to be together. Our production crew is going to be together. It's going to be that same bunch. We're still going to be shooting that show in Atlanta. It's just going to air somewhere else. And so the craziness that you've seen, the nonsense and the foolishness and the top-notch basketball analysis, all of that stuff's going to be on. It's going to be on ESPN or ABC next year, not on TNT. For that, we're sad. But I'm proud to say for the last time, thanks for watching us. It's the NBA on TNT.
Before we go, guys, let's do the mic drop. Take your time.
Several years ago, I wrote a book called Unscripted.